KPMG recently released their KPMG India Media Report 2019. So let's touch base with Mr. Girish Menon, partner and head media and entertainment at KPMG. Hi, Mr. Menon. Thank you so much for talking to us. Growth of digital media does not spell doom for traditional media in the medium term, according to your report. What makes you say this?
Sure. So I think two or three perspectives, right? I think digital media is still at a stage of evolution in India. It's really a 2-year story that's been happened in India, since 2017 or so. So we are still at a fairly early and nascent stage of digital consumption. Behaviors have not changed in such a way where audiences are choosing between either this or that. So I think so that is one of the reasons from an audience behavior perspective, we believe that it's still a while to go where digital media becomes the primary mode of consumption. Secondly, if you look at size and scale and reach, the traditional media still have the largest scale and reach among audiences. And from a content availability perspective also, there is a fairly high degree of content availability for traditional media, which is comparatively less as compared to digital media. That being said, 2-3 points are important to keep in mind. I think if you break it down between, say, television, print, and a few others, television is still in the short to medium term protected because of the points that I mentioned. Longer term, I think NTO and the fact that NTO will potentially result in higher cost to the consumer and therefore reduce the economic gap between digital and TV. I think that is one of the factors to consider in mind from a long-term perspective, and therefore, long-term there could be at least some portions of consumers.
So wanted to get your view as far as announcement made by Reliance in the AGM is concerned, particularly impact of Jio FHS launch, plans to offer movies on a first day, first show. What does this mean for the sector, the investment?
So I think let's just focus on what's the immediate impact of this, right, over the next year or so. I think, and most of the immediate impact has been around the rollout of FTTH and the pricing plans and all of that they have in place. I think from that perspective, we believe it's actually fairly a good set of indicators for the industry, because what this is doing is it's ensuring, or at least it's pushing forward the whole wired broadband connectivity into India, which has been lagging behind for quite a while, right? So India is predominantly a wireless broadband mobile connected market, and what FTTH will do, and this is not just about RIL but also how the existing players respond to that, both in terms of offering and pricing and packaging, essentially means that there is a fairly high degree of likelihood of greater pickup of FTTH and wired broadband in homes. What this means is that consumption will start moving away from only mobile consumption in India to moving into the large screen consumption. Once you start moving into large screen consumption, again, a lot of elements around business models start coming into play, right? Because it becomes a home viewing environment rather than just a personal viewing environment. The kind of content that gets consumed, the amount of content that gets consumed, all will start getting scaled up. So I think from an industry perspective, it's actually a very great thing in terms of increasing the both the digital access as well as the digital consumption.
Can you throw some light on the relationship between TV as well as print when it comes to ad revenue? Will the steady growth in Hindi as well as regional languages that focus mainly on hyperlocal content, could that drive print revenues as well? And how do you see the long-term prospects overall for the print medium?
Two parts. I think definitely the storyline of Hindi and regional driving content is going to continue, because those are markets that still have value for print, and more importantly, marketeers are more and more interested in those markets. So I think that two factors coming together will help print. Longer term, I think it is inevitable that all users at some point will start being more and more focused on digital consumption, even on the news side and even on the language side. So longer term, print, at particularly newspapers in a traditional sense, will face challenges. I think the critical thing is going to be about how organizations evolve to looking beyond newspapers per se, but more about news delivery across multiple formats.
Thanks so much, sir, for taking out time for us, giving us your perspective, your findings in the media sector.